This is a Sports Catastrophe production.
Hey there, Heather, ho there, it's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Sports Catastrophe Birthday Boy. And the birthday for today, March the 24th, is a newbie, a young guy. I know that I'm doing him kind of because of an incident that happened on Monday Night Football. But, dude, considering what this guy went through when he collapsed on the field in front of a live national TV audience, this guy is amazing. He still plays for the Buffalo Bills. He's a safety. He was born in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania on this day 26 years ago in 1998. His name? Damar Hamlin. Remember the name. So anyway, he was raised in McKees Rock and went to Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh. He was given an 83 grade for his recruiting. He was a four-star recruit, and many schools like Penn State, Ohio State, and Temple even wanted to pick him up. Penn State and Temple being in state in Pennsylvania. So he went to Pitt and was a freshman in 2016. Played 3 games, but injured himself, but got a medical redshirt exception, which meant he could keep that year of eligibility. So in 2017, as a redshirt freshman, he wasn't back to full health to the week 3. However, he was the safety. By 2018, as a redshirt sophomore, he was part of a great secondary for Pitt. He broke up 10 passes as a redshirt junior in 2019, and in his senior in 2020, he was team captain of Pitt. He was named to the All-ACC second team as safety, doing quite well for himself, getting a bachelor's degree in communication from Pitt. So he made 6 interceptions as a member of the Pitt Panthers. So anyway, the 2021 draft went on and on and on. And then Buffalo in the 6th round decided to take Damar Hamlin. And he signed his 4-year rookie deal with Buffalo, being in a reserve role, playing 14 games, making a couple of tackles. In 2022, he was made to be the starting safety of Buffalo only after Micah Hyde suffered a freak neck injury in week 2. In week 9, he got 12 tackles on the Jets and a sack. Unfortunately, though, Buffalo lost the game. And in week 13, against the Patriots, he had an illegal hit on Jacoby Myers, which got him ejected from the game. So anyway, it's Monday Night Football, January 2nd, 2023. Week 17, the second last week of the season. The Bengals would host the Bills on Monday Night Football. And this was huge because this was for a top spot in the playoffs. It was a normal play. T. Higgins of the Bengals caught a pass from Joe Burrow near the 50-yard line and ran downfield while leading with his right shoulder, which collided against Hamlin's chest. But Hamlin made the tackle by wrapping his arms around Higgins' shoulders and brought him down to the ground. The tackle was routine. It was jarring, but, it had to be done. So after that, Hamlin somehow, in some way, stood up momentarily and then passed out and fell backwards. He would remain motionless in midfield as trainers and paramedics rushed to his side within 10 seconds. First responders needed CPR and defibrillation, AED for short, and other treatments to Hamlin for 10 minutes. He was given oxygen and an IV. An ambulance was brought onto the field 4 minutes after his collapse for more assistance. He was placed on a stretcher. Most of the players from both teams came off the sidelines to kneel near him, physically upset and emotional about his status. And to do that on Monday Night Football in front of a national TV audience was just shocking and all that. He was transported by ambulance to the University of Cincy Medical Center. He was in critical condition. And then at 1:48 a.m., the Bills announced that Hamlin had cardiac arrest, but his heartbeat was restored on field. It was actually an episode of commotio cordis, a rare condition in which cardiac rhythm is disrupted by a blow to the chest during a 40 millisecond span in the heart's electrical cycle. If not treated within 3 minutes, it's 97% fatal. Anyway, Hamlin remained at the Cincy Health Center while sedated and on a ventilator. Hamlin would be placed on his stomach to help take the pressure off his lungs, and it was trending upwards. Anyway, they said that Hamlin was awake and doing better. The Bills released a statement saying that Damar had improvement over the past 24 hours and critically ill, he's still neurologically intact. His lungs continue to heal and he's making steady progress. When Hamlin woke up from his sedation, he was able to follow commands, had full control of feeling extremities, and communicated on a clipboard in writing saying, "Who won the Monday Night Football game?" Of course, unaware that the game was postponed, then canceled in a sense. But they told him, "You won. You won the game of life," and all of that. Hamlin was able to breathe on his own by January the 6th, so 3 days after being sedated. He was allowed to speak and made a brief video call by FaceTime. However, then the next day on the 7th, he made his first public comment since his cardiac arrest through social media. Hamlin was discharged from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center a week after being admitted to the hospital so he could continue to Buffalo. Within a few days, he was discharged from Buffalo Hospital to continue his rehab at home. A spokesperson for the family said that the heart was being monitored and was still using additional oxygen. Hamlin was a spectator as the Bills played in the divisional round against the Bengals as a spectator. He would actually make his special on-field appearance at Super Bowl 57, accompanied by staff members of the University of Cincinnati Health Organization. He actually met with President Joe Biden and actually supported the Access to AEDs Act, which would have schools obtain and use automated external defibrillators. So, anyway, Hamlin said he would continue to play football despite all that stuff. There were a lot of reactions and all that. Every team on Twitter changed their profile pic to Hamlin's jersey and text saying, "Pray for Damar." All that. Chris Pronger would also send his wishes, as Pronger actually knew firsthand about the Komodo cordis caused cardiac arrest when he took a puck to the chest during a 1998 playoff game against the Detroit Red Wings as a member of the St. Louis Blues, which a lot of people forget about. Pronger turned blue, but thankfully the medical staff prevented Pronger from swallowing his tongue and dying. I mean, there were a lot of things. Niagara Falls was actually illuminated in blue in support of Hamlin. All that. Anyway, the Bills would dedicate their final game against the Patriots basically for Hamlin. They were hosting the Pats and all that. And strange as it was, the Bills actually returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. The Bills would win 35-23, eliminating the Pats from playoff contention, pissing me off in a sense, but also I knew the Bills were going to beat the Pats. And also, the Pats blew their playoff spot because of that stupid lateral play against the Raiders. Regardless, Hamlin was given the George House Award by the NFL to the player, coach, or staff member who overcomes the most adversity to succeed. And Hamlin was part of the 2023 ESPY Awards, giving the Pat Tillman Award to the Bills training staff and all that. Hamlin was a healthy scratch for the first 3 games of the 2023 season, but was activated for Game 4 against the Dolphins, mostly as a backup because Jordan Poyer was ruled out due to injury. He would play 18 snaps, all in special teams. November 13th, he would play his first snaps on defense and made a tackle against the Broncos in Week 10. In a divisional round game against Kansas City, in which the Bills choked and lost on home turf, Hamlin took a direct snap during a fake punt. Unfortunately, though, the Chiefs did tackle him for a few yards. So in 3 seasons with Buffalo, he's played 34 games. And hopefully more. So he's actually a fashion entrepreneur starting a fashion line while at the University of Pittsburgh. Hamlin organized annual Christmas toy drives in his hometown of McKees Rocks. His 2020 campaign set a goal for 2,500. He would do it every year. But in 2023, in the midst of his in-game collapse and medical emergency, the GoFundMe campaign received a massive influx of donations and all that. The $2,500 goal amount moved up, and by January 12th, it was up to 8.7 million buckles. It was just huge and all that. But yeah, Damar Hamlin. The question on everyone's lips will be, will he be good enough to continue his NFL career? I sure hope so. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. I do.